Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Wednesday morning trading room. Here we are back at the salt mine. Yesterday's session actually turned out to be fairly active. The market really didn't go anywhere. We finished the day pretty much where it began. However, you can see we had some really good runs. This is the afternoon going into the close. The market made a run up. Before that, however, as the afternoon session began, there was a big move lower. So lots going on yesterday. And then, of course, the morning session when we traded, the market making a pretty strong run higher. Here, right out of the gate, we now have our first in sync eagle signal. So we'll see where that one goes to. And trade forecaster saying we are going to be in trend mode for most of this morning. So hopefully that will hold. And right now the buyers out of the gate trying to put the boots to the sellers. And as far as that first eagle signal, looks like this one worked out as well. So there's the red bar buy. Yeah, no problem hitting our profit target. We're only 2 minutes into the session. That could have been my day right there. See you later. Like I said, you Raptor traders don't need to feel left out. You can do the exact same thing with the Raptor. Just look for that first in sync signal. And by in sync, I mean we've got bullish bands, right? We've got a band stacked in a bullish fashion. There is your first signal. So technically, this is the first signal of the day, this one printing right after the open. However, it's a counter trend signal. So we're going to avoid that. Rather, we're going to look at the first with trend signal. Maybe that's the better way to phrase it. For me personally, I might wait a couple of minutes. I'm not so keen to hop on early signals, but again, that's me. We did open with a little bit of a gap to the downside. The market finishing off yesterday just under 6,800, I think it was. So it closed somewhere down here, and we're opening up here. So there's a little bit of a gap here. The market may try to get into that. Or not. See if the buyers have anything left or whether the sellers are going to step in here. Like I say, we're only about 4 or 5 minutes into the session, so lots of time for things to unfold. And yesterday's highs were somewhere around 68.50, if I remember right. So we're a little bit below yesterday's highs as well. They might end up offering some resistance to the market heading higher. Okay, here now a number 2 signal, and this, I may take a look at trying this, only because the buyers are struggling a little bit. We may end up seeing a move here to the hard edge, which is our target. And you know what? It's early. Let's see if they recover down here to the low of the morning. I'll move my break even here to the hard edge. We've got back-to-back number 2 signals. I'm not going in really heavy on this trade because it is counter trend. You need to be careful with those counter trend trades. But maybe, just maybe, we'll get a little bit of a downtick. The problem with counter trend trades, of course, is they shut you out from taking with trend trades. And here comes now, here are the buyers coming back. And I'm going to give them a couple of ticks above the high of the morning, just because I don't like seeing the market just break the high and then tap me out. If we come back now with yet another number 2 signal, that could be promising, because a number 2 signal after a number 3 signal does tend to have a little better follow through. All right, so here now the number 2 signal following the number 3. And the number 2 signal, if you're wondering how I can anticipate that signal building, it's just the parameters of the signal. What constitutes a number 2 signal? Well, we have to first off see a test of the extreme. In this case, the extreme price is a high. So we're watching the market come up, fail to make a new high, or fail to continue the trend. Sometimes it may poke through just by a tick or two. That doesn't necessarily negate or invalidate what the number 2 signal is showing us. And then once we see the failure to resume the trend, the market comes back and produces a counter trend signal. That's what produces a number 2 signal. The hard edge of the trading band is our target for the number 2 signal. You can see I'm already short. Otherwise, you could consider entering at the hash mark or near the hash mark. Might need a little bit of luck to get through this one, but We'll see. Fairly tight little trading range here so far. I'm not really impressed by the candy striping here, that we're just producing signal after signal after signal. This is common in a sideways market. All right, let's see if we can take out the 68.20 zone this time. That's where all that support is at. Below a break below 68.20 might encourage a little bit of selling. There we go. Found a few buyers exit orders there. And all I'm trying to do here is to ride out this swing. You can see the buyers really, really sticky here around 68.15. Oh, don't bounce too high now. Don't be like, oh, scoundrels. See? Take your profit on target, Eric. Oh, well. It woke them up, at any rate. The Hawk, a lot of yellow bars here. The Falcon also trend line breaking up, filter breaking up. The Eagle and the Raptor both back into the hard edge, so we're going to anticipate some sort of reaction now that we're in the hard edge. Let's see, my break even. I should have, in hindsight, I should have pulled my break even until I saw where the reaction was. And then I could have brought my break even to the reaction. Well, now that we're back in the hard edge, if the market continues lower from here, we're going to produce a cloud crossover signal. That's the #1 signal. In fact, you could consider this one right here as an early cloud cross. It's a little riskier to do because the clouds are not fully crossed yet, like a 50-50 cross, but the elements are there. We'll see if they come back with another sell signal. I might try it again. If they can get a little bit lower. I'm trying hard not to have a bias on the day. I've mentioned this before, that my worst days are when I get it stuck in my head that the market has to go higher or it has to go lower. Of course, the market will do what the market will do. It doesn't have to do anything. trying to sort things out now from this little bit of a sideways mess that we have going on. Well, the buyer's making a big push right back to the high of the morning. What time is it? Oh, we're at quarter to the hour. My least favorite time of the day to trade. Okay, another tiny little test of the extreme, or a great big test of the extreme. There's a couple of ways you can view this. A breakout above the high is going to send the market higher, no doubt. A move back through these lows is going to send the market lower. So I was just about to throw a bracket trade on here, but I didn't get the chance. See if we get a second push, and I can try to do an OCO type trade. So I'm going to throw my buy order in above the highs. I'm going to throw a sell order down here below the lows. I'm going to enable a stop strategy. Oh, thanks, Ryman. Ryman says FOMC minutes released this afternoon. That could put the brakes on the market here this morning. Okay, I'm going to use this other swing point right here as a possible entry. For my little bracket trade, you can see we did produce a number 2 signal here. which I was also a little bit late getting to. A little pullback here would be welcome, because this is going to now give us that early number one signal. It won't print as a number one, but it's that early cloud crossover signal when and if prices do continue lower from here. All right, so once again, we have the elements of a number one signal with the exception of the clouds not being fully crossed. That's why I call it the early number one signal. This is kind of risky, folks. The best way to treat a sideways trading range is actually to let the market get outside of the range first. Then look for that retest, and then look for your opportunity to buy or sell, whatever the case may be. All right, looks like they're going to try to bring this in on the short side. And I'm going to hold my stops here for a moment. As prices struggle with the 68.15-16 zone where they got knocked back last time. We'll see if they can break it down this time. Ideally, my stops belong up here above the high. Pardon me. All right. We'll give the trade a chance. Almost to the break even. Come on, get down there. All right, hit the break even. Bring the trade to break even. Oh, come on. Play nice. All right, now the clouds are fully crossed. The next signal that prints to the short side will be a number one signal, but I tell you, the market is struggling. It's reluctant to do anything right now. Doesn't want to go higher or lower, it seems. And now we're going back into that range. Okay, we might be waiting for a few minutes. Scott, being a little bit of a wise guy here, says, hey, Eric, you can double your money if you put your break even at +2. Thanks, Scott. What a great idea. If I had to pick a direction today, I think I would be maybe a little bit more bearish. I know the buyers and sellers are pretty evenly matched at this point, but we do have that little bit of a gap below us. I could see traders trying to get into that gap. And when there's no driving force behind the market, it does have a tendency to slump a little bit. So that would give the nod to the sellers as well. Pardon me, these periods of transition always seem to drag out. Yesterday, like I said, the market in the afternoon had that decent move lower, recovered a little bit going into the close, and now the market's undecided whether it's going higher or lower from here. So that's why it's seesawing. All right, the hawk offering a quick little buy right here, a little bit of a scalp. The falcon trend line changing colors, so it's in the process of making a trend change signal, as is the raptor. We're getting that bullish cloud crossover, maybe. May have spoken too soon. When your trading band gets really, really tight as well, when it starts to twist up like a rope, you know you're in a congested market also. Tom and Russell both letting me know that the home sales report just out, and apparently it's down from what was anticipated. Doesn't seem like it's really doing that much to the marketplace, at least not yet. Come on, where's that number one signal to short? Here, the hawk, now a first micro macro cross lower. So there's a opportunity to get in below the lows here. Maybe I'll give them a minute still, see how it, if I can get a better entry than that. Okay, what I should do, oh, there we go. We got the sell signal, and I don't have time to set it up, so I'll just punch in with an order if it gets below, if it triggers that order. I'm looking for a break here. I want to see it take out that swing low. Do I have time to set it up? Yes, I do. Pardon me. So all I'm doing is I'm just giving the market a little bit of room on the entry. Here's our number one signal. And it's because the market's sideways, right? We've got a bit of a sideways drift going on. I'd rather get in a little bit late than get in early and have to try to ride out a swing. Yeah. Thanks, Scott. Scott says he'll just untuck his Captain Obvious cape and point stuff out. Thanks. Thanks. I knew I could count on you. No, not ready yet. All right, well, we'll close that up, put it back on the shelf. The good news is it doesn't cost you anything to wait. The hawk, really the only one coming through with some signals here this morning that we can follow through on. So we got a little first micro macro cross now to buy. And the scalp targets might be the way to go. Okay, here we are now with a number one signal on the long side. And same thing, we've got a second push opportunity. You know, for the sake of a tick or two, I'd probably enter on the other side of the resistance line, or maybe even above that little swing high. Can I cover it down there? Ooh, I can, just barely. I suppose this is another situation where we could essentially end up bracketing the market. Maybe that's the way to do it. To see if they give us another reaction off the resistance zone before I get too cute. Are they going to go or aren't they? Big push. Wow. It's either going to be a major test of the extreme being the high of the morning, or it's going to lead to another breakout higher. So we've got another one of these discretionary signals printing after our number one signal. Let's see what else we got going on here. Well, the eagle giving us our in sync signal. So a few things lining up here, suggesting a possible buy. The eagle will allow a second push. So I just allowed the signal to engage. I see where the signal is reacting. Oh, and if I wait much longer, I won't get the trade on. Today, not quite as easy to trade as yesterday. Oh, got some positive slippage on that one. We'll see whether or not there's any follow through on it now. Russell's asking range bound until the FOMC meeting, quite possibly. A lot of traders, as a rule, won't trade FOMC days because of this. Scott says that's what he thought. He went to the Russell, and here's the Russell now, and you can see that it too just in a dead sideways drift at the moment. There is noteworthy resistance at the 68.30 area. As you can see, the market getting knocked down a few times there. And as I mentioned before, the best way to handle this type of situation, in fact, if I get stopped out from here, I will do this. I will allow the market to break. I will allow it to retest. And then I will look for my buy signal. Or if it breaks to the short side, I will do the same thing. I'll allow it to get out. I'll look for the retest, and then I will look for the signal to sell. Kind of encouraging. One bar anyways, one bullish bar. No, they're just grinding. Running stops. Let's see here. Nick says the FOMC is not until March. No, it does look as though we do have a meeting this afternoon. I don't usually bother much with the reports calendar, but right here, these are Pacific times. So it looks like we've got FOMC minutes out this afternoon. And they always make for difficult trading days. It's probably follow-up meetings and everything, but that's the big one. And we can't string two legs together here. We're swapping. We got one leg up, one leg down, one leg up, one leg down, one leg up. Maybe two legs up. I can hope. I'll get my stops ready. There we go. If we can get above the high here, everything else also still just looking very neutral. All right, we're getting a little traction off of this hard edge. So here on the Raptor, back into the hard edge. And we produced a double pullback, 2 number 3 signals, and we're going to challenge the highs. Let's get back here to the action on the Eagle. Ooh, look at it go. Oh my gosh, Mark's offering up a couple of bad jokes here to pass the time. Have we come to that? Are we that desperate? I do like the FEB one here. What did one FEB say to the other? I'll meet you halfway. Oh, yeah. You mentioned that one at a cocktail party, and you'll pick up the traders in the group. That's for sure. Come on, get up there. I'll take my break even on the high of this bar. Come on, give me one more bar, and I'll go to my bar high-low strategy, which is ultra aggressive. And we'll really put the pinch on the bears. Come on. We're finally up here. Give me the one swing, for crying out loud. You can see there's selling pressure. You see how we have the red dot on the green bar. So some of the sell parameters have been met over the course of these last few bars. Let's see, what was yesterday's high? Yesterday's high was 68.43, and that's kind of where we're aiming. And the day before was 68.59 3/4. That would be a very ambitious move higher. Well, at break even, got my fingers crossed. Paul is asking, when I use the buy and sell buttons, I don't get a target or a stop loss. Your stop loss is an easy fix, Paul. You have to make sure that your trail indicator tab is enabled. If this is unchecked, you will not have a stop loss order. So select a strategy, whatever one you want. I shall demonstrate. So let's say I want to buy. There's no signal here, but let's say I'm just going to buy. And let's say I want a target at 20 ticks and I'm going to be all in, all out. I'm going to switch to manual mode just because I want to restrict it to a single contract. I make sure my stops are enabled. Well, actually here, I'll show you first without the stops enabled. So actually I got my default. I'll show you that as well. All right, hold on a second here. So what you normally want to do is you want to make sure your stops are enabled, and then when you hit your buy or sell button, you're going to get a stop loss order exactly where your trailing stop is. If you have a profit target set, you will also get your profit target based on your strategy. Now, that's why I changed it to all in, all out. Sometimes if you're running like 50% or if you're doing 33% or something less, if you're only running a single contract, you're not going to get a profit order because, well, by default, you only have the one, right? So it's going to default to the runner position. You'll notice that even when I did not have my stops enabled and I hit the buy button, I still got a stop loss order, right? And that's because I have my what does it called? Invalid stop activated. So let me show you how to do that. Okay, let's see if I can't just get this up here. All right, well, I think I can show you anyway. So you're going to go to your strategies window. Don't do this while you have a trade going on, by the way. You're going to click here on your trade manager, and you're going to have to turn it off. So long as the trade manager is on, you cannot make any changes to it. So you're going to have to go here to your enabled tab. That's your on-off switch. Go to false and click apply. I'm not going to do it because I'm in this trade and I'm trying to get it out on a break even. Then you're going to go here to the very top and you're going to find in your very top parameters, you have invalid trail stop ticks. Yours is probably set at 10. 10 is pretty tight. 10 doesn't give you any time at all to adjust your trade. What this does is if you don't have a stop or your stop strategy is against the market, like on the wrong side of the market, it will give you a 10 tick stop. Well, I enlarged mine to 30. You should make it like 30, 40, or 50. The idea is that once you get that stop, once I have a stop, if it, let's say the stop's way down here, 50 ticks away, well, I don't need to leave it there, do I? I can bring it up now to where I want it to be. However, if my stop is 10 ticks away, it's probably printing right there, right where the market is, you know, bouncing around. And now I may panic and I got to get in there and I got to grab my stop and get it out of the way before I even get hit. So it's a good idea for your invalid stop to be rather broad. You know, like I said, mine's at 30 ticks. That's far enough away that if the market is moving like lightning, okay, it's not a huge hit, but it's probably far enough away that I can still grab my stop and bring it into where I want it to be. Or, you know, I can select my stop strategy. Let's say I want to go with my ATR, or pardon me, my super trend. I can enable it, accept, and then Trade Manager will manage my trade from this point on. So make sure your trail indicator tab is enabled, and that will make sure that you have a stop loss order and a profit order as well. Now, worst case scenario, if you find yourself in a position without a stop loss order, you can always manually enter one by going right-clicking on your chart and selecting your stop loss. And if you can't figure out what is going on, hit the close button. Better to be out $50 or $60 than to be on the wrong side of the trade or think you have a stop when you really don't, only to watch the market peel against you several $100s. All right, well, we're still in the grind here. Not much going on at the moment. I have a feeling today might be a bit of a bust. Looks like I got tagged to break even again. Just not getting any follow through. Tried the market higher, tried the market lower, and it's just content to go sideways. Oh, although we did get a little bit of a bullish break, didn't we? So this was the sideways channel before. Here now an attempt at a retest. Here's the buyers trying to produce a buy signal. The ranges are just so small. Yeah, I think you guys are right. I don't think we're going to get much until the afternoon with the FOMC release. Julian's bullish here this morning. She has a modest target at 68.45, just above the highs here. Yeah, I think we've got a bullish drift to the day. I would like to see a little bit of a more substantial pullback, maybe back to here, maybe around 68.20, 22. The number 2 signal. Come on, give me that second push. There we go. Maybe I'll give it another tick or two below the low here, not frame it quite so tight. Just the nature of the day. Well, here we go, just bouncing back and forth some more. Okay, I think we can forget that for now. Lots of back and forth. The bars are unfolding a little bit faster though, so there is something going on here. I suppose another opportunity really to do an OCO type order, we could do a bracket order and look to buy above, sell below. Now you need to remember these orders are live when you put them on your chart, so I tend to place them a little bit away and then bring them in to where I want them to be. Well, that's annoying when that happens, but I can just punch back in with an order. I forget exactly why it does that. I think what I need to do is I need to have my trail indicator tab enabled before I click my OCO. But at any rate, we're long here at the moment. I'll hold my stops down there. And see if did they slip me? They did. Oh, look at that. Yeah, they're just churning the market here this morning. Like I said, a slow, slight upward grind. Maybe, just maybe, we'll get enough out of this that we can get to the break even again. right. Just waiting for the buyers to give it another push here. Here we go. Oh dear, if we can just get above that hurdle at 68.42. Ryman says the ADX indicator tells a story this morning. I have a feeling it's pretty flat. There we go. All right, well, back at break even, hovering just below the profit order. Come on, one more push. All right. Oh, and we're going to be too late. Got to pull out the magic mouse here and try to push the market a little higher. Scott suggested this earlier, but oh, no, it's a little bit too late. Well, that kind of looks like that's the way the day is going. Well, you know what, gang? I think we might button up shop here a few minutes early. There's not a whole lot going on. I think we're back at the highs or yesterday's highs, and we're probably going to see a little bit of a reaction here. I am still bullish overall, but I think the market's going to be a bit of a dud until we get past those FOMC minutes. So let's call it a day, and we'll do it again tomorrow, and I'm sure tomorrow will be a little bit more active. All right, we'll talk to you then. Bye for now.